My name is Patrice Patel and I've always loved dancing, music, everything. My mum got me into ballet when I was 4 years old and I absolutely just loved it. I did ballet, modern, tap, hip-hop, contemporary dance for all my childhood, right up till I was 18. Got up to the highest grades in the world I could possibly sit for ballet, modern and tap dancing. And I was on my way to pursue a career in dance because that was my dream, to become this famous dancer. So I worked towards an audition that I wanted to do to get into a dance school over in London. And I was all geared up, wanting to do that as my career. And then I had a big injury and I went over on both of my ankles. All my tendons, they were all completely swollen and bruised, and I'd pulled my ligaments severely. So I had to completely stop my dancing and I just poured everything into my studies, and my whole dream of becoming this dancer shattered. I decided that I would go and pursue a career being a primary teacher and just do my dancing on the side. Finish my teaching degree. And then from there, I went over to London and I did 2 years teaching as a primary teacher there. And I went to Pineapple Studios where all the professional dancers who dance in the West End shows, they go and train there. And I was training with them. I got a phone call from a man and he said, "Your boss has insisted I interview you for a teaching job that I have got in an international school in Egypt." I go, "Egypt? We have just built the biggest theatre in the Middle East at our international school." He goes, "What's your experience in the performing arts?" And I told him my experience, and I was very young. I was only 23 at the time. And he looked at me and he goes, "I have interviewed a lot of people today who have got way more experience teaching performing arts in the international schools. But," he goes, "I'm going to say yes to you. I feel like you could do it." And he hired me on the spot. Egypt, it was something else. It's a different world, complete different world, and we don't realise. You know, when we've been brought up in our Western culture, you just have no idea how other cultures work and how much danger a lot of people are in all the time. And that's their life. Honestly, getting to Egypt, like within the first 3 months, I got shot at. So on the way, from travelling from Cairo to the Red Sea, you have to travel in a convoy because it's quite dangerous in Egypt. We ran out of petrol. There was 8 of us in this van. We came to the next checkpoint and all of a sudden we just heard bullets going on. We all hit the deck. They told us to come in and they were like with the AK-47s shooting out into the distance and motioning for us to come forward. So then we got forward, they pulled us out of the van, they put us in this concrete room, they were handing out bulletproof vests to all the army men. So everyone was crying, calling the embassy, saying we don't know what's going on because everyone's speaking in Arabic, we can't understand. Then finally they pulled us out, said us it's safe, got in the van, they started shooting again from the outside. We couldn't see because it was pitch black out there, and the army men just protecting us, shooting back at them. It was like a scene from a movie.
After a successful run of shows in Egypt, Patrice moved back to New Zealand to start an amazing venture.
Went around schools and said to principals, "I can direct and produce your musical in 4 weeks, and 5th week bring them to the theatre, and you can have your school production complete with costumes, sets, an original musical, all original songs, all online learning." We make sure that every script brings out strong character traits, morals, values and themes that they can apply to their life, and they'll always remember that story for the rest of their life. So this is my costume room. This is where 6,000 costumes live, just here. So we've got 11 musicals here with 400 costumes for every show. So this is where the magic comes from. I have to learn all their lines before I even get there. So when they come and see me, they'll do their lines and I tell them how to do it properly and how to express themselves. They've got to make sure the secret is get the people right in the very back row. They can see your face. They can see everything. So everything has to be bigger than life. So seeing these shy little children not quite sure on how to get out of their shell, being able to give them that confidence, that encouragement every day, you can do this. Performing arts uses all your senses. When you're a child, you remember your school productions and you remember your camps. And why do you remember those two things from primary school? And it's because you use the most senses. They've got butterflies, they've got to perform this dance, this act that they've been working so hard for. They have to do it to all of their family and friends who are watching them. They remember that for the rest of their lives. So I grew up in church and I would often choreograph dances, creative expressions for my church events, things that would be televised all over the South Pacific. I got these opportunities so young in life because I went to church.